Yeah, and what we've found is, you know, I wish Brady was still standing here next to me, but, you know, what type of an animal can survive? One that looks like me, one that looks like him, right? So you've got to change the genetics and the epigenetics of that animal. For 25 years, I was in the purebred business, had bull sales every year, and I thought I was keeping my cattle moderate. You go to do what Grant said, you leave the calves on the cow, all of a sudden, boy, you find out which cows can survive, which ones can't, you know? And then you start building the genetics that are adapted to your environment. And I know it's not an overnight fix, but I will guarantee you, Joe, you do that for 10 years, the cows will look like me, not Brady. They're just gonna, those that you have left, okay? Yeah, plain and simple. Financially, I was ready for it and could stand that hit, but literally in 3 years, we turned over half the cow herd over in 3 years, you know? But I was ready for that. We're not gonna, but I took from calving in, you know, February, March, high producing cows being fed to where calving late May and June, leaving calves on the cows all winter. You start grazing through, we can graze through about 30 inches of snow. It gets much deeper than that and it gets a bit tough on them. Now back here, I forget what year it was, 2015, 16, we had 100 inches of snow before Christmas. I've got pictures of, matter of fact, I got it on this presentation. The snow was above the cow's backs. We had to push it. There's no cow gonna graze through that much snow, you know? We had to feed that year. This last year, we fed 70 days, and the reason is we had 2 years of drought. We just didn't have the biomass to graze. The year before, we were down to 18 days, you know? And we probably had 40, 50 inches of snow that winter. You know, we're not gonna get as much as you get in Minnesota, but we get snow. And so what we do is, we're only grazing our pastures 1 day every 12 to 15 months, okay? In our brittle environment, we need to give a full year's rest to get the recovery. But when we do graze it, it's high stock density. So we will have pastures that were not grazed the year before, that during that growing season, that's what we're grazing in the winter with the cattle. Or in the case of our grass finishers, they're grazing cover crops. Now, I don't, you know, Grant and I talk about this all the time. In Minnesota there, you don't need that much recovery time on your pastures. But as your environment gets more brittle, less rainfall, then you need more recovery time. I have a good friend in near Webo, Montana. He grazes once every 2 years, okay? 24 months, pretty much recovery time, yeah? Alejandro Carrillo down in the Chihuahuan Desert, he's got it down now. He's grazing once every 15 months. 1 day, doing daily moves, yeah.